set, shotgun user main is in the pits again. And Agent JF coming into the pits yet again, just driving through them. Yeah, yet again making setup changes, coming into the pit. Again, tweaking his setup. A lot of setup. Oh, Bubble, quick question. Are you going to be able to change your setup during the race? Or do you have a fixed setup? Now we see actually a larger pack. Agent JF is coming out of the pits again. GDB and Anthony Anderson touching wheels, but not enough contact to really cause anything to happen. Agent JF and GDB really close. Now we see it's small in the pits now. Just waiting, possibly doing setup work. Another small pack forming. GDB weaving back and forth, probably to break the slipstream. Anthony has the outside line and probably could make it stick. Is he though gonna? Anthony, really brave move there around the outside, fully committing to that line. And really risky move there, especially in practice, but made it stick. Obviously great practice before the race. But some really close racing already. And they make more contact coming into the third corner of this Indianapolis circuit. A really high speed action from these guys. And again, Anthony Anderson on that outside line trying to make it stick. And more contact on the rear right of GDB really coming to the divider. Anthony Anderson giving them nudges all the way through the lap. And Brown Moon's just kind of waiting to see what happens. And we see it's small actually coming out of the pits right behind them. Oh, they're about to go almost 3. Yeah, they're going. Brown Moons was definitely thinking about going 3 wide there into the second corner of the track, and GDB backs out of that. But it's really close there. Almost went 3 wide into the second corner of the track. Some really close racing there. Anthony Anderson and Brown Moons yet again going 2 wide through that corner. And we see shotgun user main coming out of the pits again, as is also Agent JF. Yeah, really brave move again around the outside. Anthony Anderson coming through a lot of these corners, and we'll hope to see that during the race. A lot of commitment through these corners, a lot of already overtaking, and just continuously sticking around the outside. He does probably have a slightly higher downforce if he's sticking it that confidently around the outside, but that could hurt him. Sorry about that. That could hurt him a lot on the straights if he does have a higher downforce and if he is going to be leading during the race or ahead. Yeah, now we can see he does not have as high of a top speed as Brown Moons. Brown Moons absolutely gained on him through that corner. Or sorry, not through that corner, on that back stretch there. And massive run he's having out of this corner. Obviously, Dirty Air will play a role, but no, we see Brown Moon's actually peeling into the pits, possibly for some setup changes, just like GDB right behind him. And Anthony Anderson is now really on his own on this lap. Now we look at its Smalls, also a couple of corners ahead of him actually. Ooh, and we see a wreck from It's Small coming into the third corner of the track. He just goes out wide and hits the wall, or actually almost a wreck. Yeah, and a really sketchy moment there for It's Smalls. Yeah, really close call there for Brown Moons, and really a dangerous moment there for him. Almost one out and crash, and we see him actually, or sorry, it's Small, and we see a lot of drivers actually peeling into the pits for setup changes, and yeah, adjusting. A lot of adjustment probably going to be going on in this last session of practice, considering the drivers are just trying to get us understand their setup as much as they can before the race starts. And we see actually two drivers, Anthony Anderson and GDB, too wide in the pits. A little nudging from those two. We saw some really close action from them just seconds ago going around the track. And GDB sliding on the grass, not sure what he's doing there. And yeah, bottoms out on the entry to that. It's more sliding on the track, and he almost spins it. Going really slowly, possibly waiting for Anthony Anderson to catch up. Anthony right behind him too. Yeah, definitely going to be seeing some racing from these two right now. And yeah, again, seeing some racing from these two coming into some of the final corners. Anthony Anderson does get away from GDB, and we'll probably see how the different setups affect these drivers all through the session. They're definitely going to be testing out a lot of different ones and seeing how they work and seeing which ones they like more. And yeah, final practice session, probably one of the most important things outside of the race itself, to get really tuned into the setup and to be really ready to race on Saturday. Now we see another pack forming with Agent JF and Anthony Anderson. Agent JF slides out in the second corner coming out of the pits. A lot of that happening today, and that's pretty unexpected. We didn't see that a lot in previous sessions, but yeah, drivers, a lot of sliding out of the pits today, possibly, you know, tighter turn there and getting on the grass, and really the grass was really slippery on this track. Now we see GDB just behind Anthony Anderson. He did back out, but yeah, really close call there when you just saw Agent JF coming out of that pit road and sliding out just in front of him. So yeah, very close session there. Or sorry, close incident there. Almost wrecked actually, coming out of the pits. Now we actually do see Agent JF coming into a lot of the times into the pits. He is in pole position for this track, for this race, and we'll definitely want to hear from him what he is thinking of during this final practice session. I'm definitely seeing some of the drivers like, GGP or Brown Moons is actually in third position. So yeah, he's definitely gonna take this time as much as he can to figure out a setup. And yeah, starting on the front row is very important for this race. But it doesn't guarantee you a win, but does help you a lot. I would see actually a little bit more, actually the same amount of drivers out on track. GEB did actually also qualify in second place, so that'll be interesting. Now, yet again, we see Agent JF and the Beast, Anthony Anderson and the Beast really close together, constantly really just battling, using draft from each other. And just a fairly close battle here between these two. Obviously not as intense as we saw in some of the first practice sessions, but still fairly close. More of trying to get used to, I guess, their setup and trying to figure out what's going to be best for them during the race. They are both actually in a Penske, and both are Chevrolet drivers. So they do have the same car, and they actually touch coming into the first corner. almost went out wide, but they both did back out of that corner. Very close moment there for those two. Two Chevrolet drivers almost wrecking there. And we see actually gamer winner coming out of the pits. No. Okay. Now we see actually Fearless now out on track, the two-time champion of the Bubble 325, and will definitely be interesting. How is this final practice session gonna pan out for him? He did qualify in 4th place for this year's 325, and will be interesting. How will he cope this year with starting from the 2nd row and from 4th position, just behind for the pole sitter. Agent JF. Oh, in a spin from Fearless, coming into the final corner, made contact with Agent JF and almost goes into the wall, but does actually save it out on track. I'm sorry, keeps it out on track into the final corner. And coming back out, coming back up on Agent JF. Yeah, just almost spun with him. And AC Life in the pits with doing some setup work, most likely. Yeah, we're gonna see that a lot this time around. Drivers really trying to figure out their setup, or figuring out really how they're gonna race in this 325. Alright, so, okay, I'll just share my screen, I guess, because nobody else is, for now. now we see Agent JF and Fearless again coming onto the backstretch, and we just actually a couple laps ago we did see them make contact in the final corner of the circuit, and almost actually came back. He did in fact save it, but very close there from Agent JF and Fearless. He tapped his I think rear left, or this one right here, and that sent him into a really sideways spin, but he did catch back up to Agent JF. Agent JF not really going as fast as you expect, considering he was on pole. And actually Fearless will be starting a row behind him in fourth place, just behind him actually. And yeah, he will probably be contesting him into the first corner, definitely, for that first place, or possibly trying to get away into the lead quickly. Will be interesting to see how these drivers plan their strategy in the race, and how they will try to figure out their strategy and things like that. I see Fearless and Agent JF actually yet again fighting in the corner. In the first corner, they have been tandeming for almost this entire like 6 laps, and that will be interesting. Fearless making actually a move down his inside and almost making contact with Fearless. Oh, and they make more contact with. He actually goes up into Agent JF, and I'm not sure how he'll feel about that. Agent JF just becoming Fearless now. Oh, we have actually a massive pack onto the main on the back stretch. Sorry, getting a little confused there. Yeah. Really close racing between it's again a winner, it's Small and Anthony Anderson. And yeah, oh, they're going 3 wide yet again. And we probably will see a lot of close racing like that during the race, but unexpected to see, or actually more expected to see, that they have more drivers. We see again, yeah, these guys are really battling it out right now. We see actually it's Smalls get into the lead of this pack, and yeah, 3-car pack, and they're very close. They're deking actually towards the pits, but not going into them. And yet again, we see them going almost 3 wide. through the first corner, and we actually see East Mall is really going wide, and now it's a 4-car pack. And yeah, Beast, sorry, not GDB, Beast getting a massive run on this pack. And yeah, GDB now just passed that pack of cars, and we see gamer winner wreck on the main straight. Big wreck there from him. And now it's only a 3-car pack with Brown Moons actually gaining them. And unfortunate to see, first crash of the session. And this pack of 3 drivers yet again extremely close. Actually going 3 wide into the first corner, and very, very close there, almost making contact between those 3 guys. And this is getting very interesting. Almost very bad accident there. And they're going again 3 wide, and we actually see AC Life finally coming on AFKing himself, I guess you could say, and coming onto the track. We see still sorry, not AC Life, Brown, is that Brown Moons? No, Brown Moons just trailing behind this pack of 3 cars. Not going too fast, but yeah, fairly calm. Yet again, digging into the pits, just trying to make the other drivers lose that slipstream or possibly hit the splitter. And coming into the first corner, very, very close again. There. Ooh, coming into the third corner is that somebody out on the grass, and yeah, very, very tight there from those guys. When they're going 3 wide into the final corner of this track. Very, very tight racing yet again from these guys. And coming out to the final straight, you know, the pack is a little more spread out now. 2 pairs, 2 Penske's, and is that? Yeah, that is. I don't know if that's 2 Andretti's or. Yeah, but just behind him, 2 packs, 2 red cars and 2 yellow cars. The yellow, actually, it's the yellow submarine right there. And probably won't see a lot of 3 wide moments like that again, but still really awesome to see one of those coming into the first corner. It did end, unfortunately, for I think it was actually gamer winner, which he had the first wreck of the session. And 3 wide, almost actually 3 wide yet again into the first corner. Now this pack is getting very tight yet again, and we'll see some more action like this. And really amazing to see a pack of this many cars really close again together. Again, going almost, actually not, one of the drivers did peel into the pit, but these guys are still going at it very aggressively. And, first qualifying session, or sorry, not first qualifying, okay, the final practice session, and really, drivers trying to, or really hard racing between these drivers right now. And again, 3 wide coming into the final corner. Very, very close. And he does hit the wall. They're actually going 4 wide into the first corner. Actually, not anymore, but we're going 4 wide. And they will keep going 4 wide. Or 3 wide into the first corner. Very tight there. And almost caused another wreck. Very tight pack now forming here, and a lot of moves, almost a wreck of multiple cars now in the first corner, in the first corner and on the main stretch. Anticipating to see a lot more of that energy coming into the next, how many minutes of practice is left? In the next 4 minutes of practice. And again, 3 wide into the first corner. Only 2 wide now. Or no, still 3 wide in the first corner. Yeah, some very tight racing here. Oh, and the 2 Penske cars make contact, and they're going actually 3 wide, almost 4 wide into the final corners. And we see the DHL car making a lot of contact, and they're kind of bumping around. That is the Honda car, and again going 3 wide into the first corner. Very close. These drivers are definitely more aggressive now that they've got their setups ready and not pitting as much as we saw before. AC Life leading this pack, and really interesting to see. I haven't didn't see this a lot in the beginning of the session, but very close. Oh, and Anthony Anderson almost crashes out. He does not save it, and massive wreck, very far behind the drivers. Yeah, Anthony Anderson, bad wreck there coming into the pits. Massive wreck from Anthony Anderson. It's only 2 minutes left, and now we see it's Smalls being in that pack, still not ranking. We see the target car actually joining the action of this small pack that we did have, but unfortunately had a contact there, more contact, and we see a spin from or almost a spin. He did actually save it the last minute and 30 seconds of this qualifying session, or sorry, practice session. I keep calling it qualifying session. And in this final few minutes of, we have the final minute of practice before the final, or sorry, not the final, the rate, the 3-2 bubble 325 of this year on this Saturday. And this is going to be very interesting to see happen. And final minute, no more practice. The clock's ticking down, only 30 seconds now left, and these drivers get only one more lap of green racing if they actually make it, if they even make it over the line. Probably will opt to just go into the pits safely, but yeah, no, still going at it in the final minutes, and this will be definitely interesting. And I will have to ask the question, is practice over? Final lap, going to be still a lot of racing here. Still drivers going at it. Agent JF and you know, when I really batting it out, really nothing to lose here. But yeah. And AC Life actually spun in the final lap of this practice session. And red flag. And this session, oh, AC Life. And the shotgun user main make contact. Yep. All right. So wait, are we going to get any time to do interviews? Sorry. or do we not have time for that currently? All right. Well,
We're doing it right now. I think we're doing it right now.
Okay, awesome. So awesome, great. So I do have a couple of questions for you. Obviously, taking notes during this practice session. And first of all, we did see you spin into turn 3 at just the beginning of the practice session. And was that more of a setup issue, or did you just make a small driver error? And luckily, you were able to keep it out of the wall.
This is my first time driving on the new revamped version of the Indy for this race. And I thought it would be the same kind of setups, but I overcorrected. I sent it in way too hard, like turned way too early, like it was a flatter track. And I completely hit the grass and just spun it, but I feel like that was my only big issue for today.
Yeah, and we did. You did actually qualify on the front row. You did unfortunately qualify in the back of the grid. And what are your thoughts coming into this 3:25, and how could you make up for that?
Well, in qualifying for me, I didn't make the first day. That's why I was not in the top 9 or top 8, whatever it was. So the second day I came in and didn't set a really clean lap. I touched the wall at least once on both of my runs, and I aborted like 2 runs, and I just could not find a way to set a clean pole lap. So I feel like coming in this, I'm more comfortable with the longer pace setups. As you saw in this practice, I was able just to stay up there. Stay with the lead car until the final couple of laps where I made huge mistakes. But other than that, I feel really confident.
Yeah, and piggybacking on that, we did see you going quite a lot of the time 3 wide into the first corner, and really staying in the mix, not wrecking, and having some really clean racing. And does that give you a lot of confidence for the race? And how does this leave you feeling after this final practice session before the Bubble 325?
Yeah, I feel like my confidence is really up there. I mean, this really showed me how the revamped racing will be with this newer track. It's not going to be a 2 wide fast. You need to easily make it 3 wide and continue it through a corner. And this field, I feel like, will race cleanly with that. Maybe not towards the end. Maybe they'll put some elbows out, but for the most part of the race, it's going to be a really competitive race. But a lot of people not taking a lot of chances as in practice.
Yeah, and we were discussing. I was discussing this in the beginning of practice. Not as much action, but in the end, really a really large pack forming up, and we did see some wrecks in the back of the pack. But you managed to stay out and not make any really bad contact with any of the other drivers. A little bit of bumping here and there, but you do anticipate to see that in practice sessions, and what is your, final thoughts on how is your race going to go, and how do you want it to go, and any really big strategy calls from you coming into this race?
I feel like I'll have a pretty clean race. I'm going to obviously try to stretch out my fuel as long as I can, but I'll also try to pit with more people so I could be in a faster pack, having faster lap times. But I feel like as long as people don't, as we saw Alan at the end, he came up and just straight into the back of me, slowed me down, but it spawned him out. So he really bit it. If someone does something like that in the race, I feel like it could really cost both of us. But I'm confident with this field, and that they won't do that normally. I know Alan's really laggy, so it's whatever. But yeah.
All right, great to hear from you, and best of luck during the race. And yeah, thank you so much for coming up here into the commentary booth and taking this interview.
Yeah, thank you.
Best of luck. And hi, Agent JF. Yeah, we did see a lot of action from you as well in this first session. You did here, let me find. You did come sliding out of the pits in the beginning of this practice session around 30 minutes in. You were coming out of the pits, and the massive slide there. And why did that happen, and what corrections did you make towards the end? Because we did see you very on pace at the end there.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the practice, I did about 10 hot stops just in and out of the pits over and over again. I want to dial in, be right on the limit for pit stops. I think that's going to be the key to winning the race tomorrow. So that's what I was doing. I was just finding the limit. That was a step over the limit, and I think after that, I'm going to be on it for the race in terms of pit stops.
Okay, and also, what do you think coming in pole position? What is your thoughts, and how do you feel with the two-time champion of the 325 Fearless starting just behind you in the second row?
I like starting up front. It's a huge advantage. Not to mention the points that I've already gained for pole position. Really, we make a big deal about the 325, but really it's round 2 of the championship, right? So big points. I control the race a little bit. I think there's a good amount of passing though. So its strategy will be more important than the track position, I think. So if I drop back early on, I don't think it'll be a huge deal.
Yeah, and you were really going at it with Game Winner. You were really some close fighting from you two in the final laps of this practice session. Some contact there too, but not enough to really cause an incident. And how do you feel packing and just really racing around this new Indianapolis circuit?
I think it's pretty great. I helped design it, so I'm very happy with how it went. In terms of the contact and the end of practice, I think it's a little ridiculous to be running into the back of me in practice. But, I gotta let it go. Look forward for the race. So, yeah.
Now, you did, how are you gonna manage the race, and what are you gonna try to do to stay ahead, stay in the lead pack, hopefully not wreck, and, manage your race?
Well, I think strategy is going to be a big part. There's likely going to be cautions. I'd be absolutely shocked if it's full green. If it is full green, I've got a strategy prepared. If there's cautions, you have to play it as you go. I don't think it's feasible to try to stay up front the entire race. You're gonna have to be ready to make good adjustments based on where you are in the pack, and take it one step at a time tomorrow.
Yeah, and we did see you actually spin a couple of times, and we did actually see you coming into the pits almost, I think, was it 3 or 4 laps in a row, just going into the pits, and you did have a spin in the 4th corner, and right after that you went into the pits as well. And what are your thoughts on the setup, and how do you think, how much will it affect this race, or this 325?
I think it is going to be the single variable that affects the race the most. I think whoever makes the right adjustments for the position they're in the pack at the right time will win the race. So I think setup is everything here. Setup and the strategy of the fuel saving. Those are the 2 things that will win you or lose you the race tomorrow.
Okay, and thank you for coming up here and taking this interview as well. Best of luck tomorrow in the 325. Obviously, you did qualify in pole, so that gives you a fair bit of confidence coming into this 325. And thank you for coming out here. Best of luck, and I'll hope to see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Are we gonna have sorry, it's small? Okay. Is Smalls gonna come in here? Oh, okay. Well, obviously, thank you very much to all of our drivers for coming up into the commentary box here and taking these interviews. A lot of things to think about going into this year's 325. Very, very close front pack. Most of the drivers really not having that big of a gap towards the middle of the field. And a lot of fast drivers this year. And we'll obviously see them perform and how will this 325 pan out this year. And thank you everyone for watching the stream, and we'll all see you tomorrow for the 325 and one of the biggest Roblox league races of the year.